Next part, that is the presentation of the mapping parties. So I'll ask all the people that are involved in the mapping parties to come here. I'm expecting of having 8 people here, so Hao Sheng and Irene Vigi, Marco, Peter, and Eleonora also, and Ludovico and Nicola. Are you here, all of them? So we will give them just 5 minutes for presenting their mapping party. They have to convince us to be part of their mapping party and not another one. So they have to be very short, just 5 minutes, no more than 5 minutes, but really to impress us. So we start with the first one, that is the OpenStreetMap party. So Peter and Marco. Peter from Ireland is an expert of OpenStreetMap, and Marco from Como, you know him. And Luca also is here. Luca also. Yeah. If you want to come, yes, it's not just to show yourself, or better, it's to show yourself in such a way that people can recognize you this afternoon, because there is the meeting for the mapping party when we finish the session at 4:15 in the square between the two buildings of the university. So it's not just to say I was on the stage, but just to let the people know who are you. Okay. So Lucas, all the same. So they start the presentation, and then very, very fast we go to the second, the third, and the fourth presentation. Okay. Try to convince people.
Thanks, Maria. So why should you join our mapping party? Well, I'm going to try and convince you in about 4.5 minutes. First off, you can join one of the largest volunteer communities in the world. So millions of mappers around the world are doing work for OpenStreetMap. And what we hope to do this evening is to walk through Como and have some fun while mapping and learning about OpenStreetMap and learning about how to contribute to that project. It's about 3 kilometers from here to the Cube Cafe. So this is a perfect idea for you to take a tourist walk while being in conference mode. And I think, echoing what Georg has just said, that this is an opportunity for every one of us in this mapping party to make a map of Como and make the spatial data available for Como better for everyone, not just for us, not just for the mayor, but for everyone who needs to use that data. So in the mapping party, we will show you how to get started. Myself, Luca, Marco, and any other OpenStreetMap expert out there can help us. We will add information that we collect to the OpenStreetMap project. And the idea is that it's a fun learning experience, so we're not going to be all serious and complicated. We're just going to try and have fun while mapping. And everyone is welcome. We're extending this welcome to people not involved in the conference. So if there's somebody visiting Como for today, they can join the party and join with us in the Cube Cafe to help add some data. You will not need any OpenStreetMap experience. You will not need any GIS experience. You just want an interest and a love for open data, open spatial data, and mapping. So as Maria has said, we're meeting out in the courtyard between the 2 buildings. If you don't remember what we look like, we'll be holding this sign up. So just gather around us. And as I said, we will hope to arrive at the Cube Cafe about an hour before the icebreaker begins. So our strategy will be to break us all into small groups, with each group being assigned an expert leader, and then we will each go to different parts of the city, and all of us will converge upon the cafe at about 7:30. So if you want a mapping party that can help make a difference today to the OpenStreetMap data and open data of the world, join our party at 4:30. Thank you.
Okay, and then next presentation, something different and new, the indoor mapping party. So Nicola and Ludovico. Try to convince us.
Difficult.
Okay. Uh, First of all, thank you everyone for coming. I'm Nicola Dorigatti from Tilogis, and today I'm going to convince you to participate the indoor mapping party. First of all, let's talk about indoor. For indoor, we have three main problems that are not for outdoor. We know that there are no standards for indoor, or well, there are some standards, but are very huge and difficult to manage. And for indoor, we have the problem of navigation. Navigation is not well known for indoor, while for outdoor, you have a lot of resources and ways to navigate. And the third point is that for indoor, we have problems about knowing where we are. So we don't have positioning system for indoor, while for outdoor, we have GPS, GNSS, and a lot of many more. But about the picture, sorry. The question is it this space indoor or outdoor? The question comes because you can see it's difficult to talk about the position and the structure of this picture. You may think it's indoor or outdoor because it's covered, but well, due to the modern complexity of architectures and the very big increasing complexity of indoor buildings, the outdoor and indoor are blending. So in the picture you can see the background is indoor OpenStreetMap, while the indoor it's something that could come from the indoor mapping party. About the how we will proceed, you will have a desktop application based on JOSM and a mobile application to create indoor spaces like floor plans. You will obviously be aided by some background maps. But you will not only map floor plans, you will only map the navigation. So we will solve the first and the second problem we mentioned. You will create a complete navigation graph that will be ready to be used by navigation routing system. Well, now we don't have many, but in future there will be a lot. Because the navigation graph is based on the brand new OGC standard called Indoor GML, which Ki-Jun will talk about in the next few days. So if you want to know more about indoor and indoor GML, please come to our mapping party. And please come fast because outside is hot and staying in the square waiting for you, it's not so good. So please come everyone, or at least a lot of you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you a lot. And Nicola also anticipated that we will have a speaker that is Ki-Jun Lee, who is one of the most impressive experts in indoor mapping and indoor GML, one of the next speech. Okay, thank you. So next one is land cover validation game. And we have here Irene VG presenting that.
Hello, everybody. So the good news is that you can start this mapping party now. So you don't have to wait until this afternoon. So you can also participate to the previously presented mapping party and participate to this one throughout all the conference. So just a question. When you disagree with somebody else, what do you do in order to find an agreement with that person? And well, the most, let's say, politically correct way to handle this is to ask a third person for an impartial opinion. So the point is, when a land cover classification disagrees with another land cover classification, what can we do? Ask to a third one? No. We asked the FOSS4G Europe people to help in this task. So we built a game. Up there you find the link, so you can go there right now. The game will present some areas in that blue box. You can zoom in, zoom out, pan to understand what is around. You have to choose the land cover category that is most suitable for that pixel. And you have to watch the time because it's a game. And you gain points and you gain badges. And there's a leaderboard for the top, for the top players. So what are we validating, VG?
Hi. So what are you going to do is you're going to validate a pixel. So you will be given with 1600 pixel, which is of 30 meter. The box is 30 meter, what you saw before. So it's in the area of Como region, and you have a orthophoto behind the pixel. So what you do is you look at the orthophoto and you look at the pixel, and you have to match what kind of classification it is, which is given by the 5 options. So those pixels or the disagreement between the DUSOF, that is the Italian land cover, and the another thing is GL30, the global land 30, which was produced by the Chinese government. So the land cover categories, it follows the first level of Korean nomenclature. So what you do is you have to classify and validate them to make it better. So to know more about this, you can attend my presentation on the academic track about the land cover validation game in V0.8 at 3:30 p.m. because I was given very short time, so I couldn't explain you much thing. To be more convincing, I leave it to Irene again. Thank you.
So just to conclude, start playing now if the Wi-Fi of Politecnico, of course, and those all of you playing in the meantime. At the end and during the closing ceremony, we will give you some ideas of what we together will be able to get in terms of validation of this land cover classifications. And for the top 3 in the leaderboard of the game, there may be some awards, so please start playing. Last thing, I want to thank all the people that were involved. So VG first, of course, Monia there, my colleague Andrea that is not here, me and Maria, because without Maria we can do nothing.
Obvious. Also because you are playing against me. That's the point. Because
Yeah.
at the moment I'm the winner of the game. So yeah, it's true. It's true. Okay, thank you. Thank you. And then next and the last presentation is the emotional mapping. Again, a lady and a guy. So Eleonora and Dao Sheng, you are presenting this strange mapping.
So, good morning everyone. Our mapping party is called Emotional Mapping Party, and what we are asking you is just to be a tourist. We have a beautiful city, and we ask you to go around freely. We will have for you free access to buses and free access to the whole city. And what we ask you to do is just to go around, feel the city, feel the local people, to just be one of them. So I will leave to Shank.
Okay, so the main principle is that fun for you, data collection for us. And basically this is part of the project called emotional mapping at Vienna University of Technology. And the main idea is to collect or to study how people feel about the environment. So how do you feel about this place? And at the end, for this project, basically we aim to study how people effectively respond to different environments and how these effective responses affect our spatial behavior. For example, why we avoid some places or why we approach some other places. And to contribute is easy. So basically you can get the emo map from the Android Google Play Store. And for the iOS versions, basically you can also download from the App Store. But please know that basically the Promi network doesn't support this because these universities block the outgoing data connection to AT80 port. So basically, if you want to use the iOS versions, you can use the 3G or maybe use some other networks. And basically, after you download, you need to register just several 3 questions. And then you are free to visit the cities already. And basically, what we ask you to do is every time you find a place that you like or dislike, just use the app to tell us. For example, you can tell us how good this place is with the different categories. And if you are an international guest, you don't have internet, no problem, because this app works offline, it works perfectly. So basically, what you need to do is because we already have the offline map stored on the app, So basically, you guys just contribute when you go around, and when you have the internet, just open, and then it will be synchronized automatically. And in the meantime, you can also see how other people see the environment. And basically, at the end of the experiment, basically you can already start to download the app now. And then can start to contribute. And at the end of the experiment, on Friday, we will provide you the emotional map for Como by aggregating data people contribute. And we would like to tell you which places people like or dislike, and how different people see the environment differently. And we also plan to give awards for the top 3 contributors who contribute the most. There will be some surprise for Austria. And I hope to see you at the conference, and you can already start to contribute now. Thanks.
Okay, so thank you to all of you, and we will be given the results of the different mapping parties the last day in the closing session, a very short interval in which they will give us the outcomes of these experiments.